It's 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, and you know what that means. It's Topical starts right now. A very good evening to South Africa, those watching around the world. My name is Blaine Hammond. This is It's Topical. Our digital audience with us tonight. They'll pop up soon. There they are. They will weigh in terms of some of the burning questions they have for our guests in a short while. We are looking at ways to stay afloat during the festive season and beyond. Operative word being beyond, right? One of the mechanisms that's seemingly popular in South Africa are stokvels. Is this your best option? Over 11 million people are taking part in 800,000 stokvel groups. That's according to the National Stokvel Association of South Africa. For those not in the know, they also describe stokvels as a type of credit union in which a group of people enter into an agreement to contribute a fixed amount of money to a common pool, be it weekly, fortnightly, monthly even. So basically, a group of individuals who agree to meet for a defined period in order to save together. And guess what? The industry has an estimated value of 50 billion rand annually. Those figures are provided by the Liberty Financial Group. So, what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? And stemming from that, what are the risks? Which brings us to the umbrella question of the week. And we're asking you, how can people exercise caution when distributing their stokvel payouts? We'd like to hear your thoughts as well. Let's walk and talk. You know the route? Okay. Right, let's go to our digital audience. Lindokuhle, let's hear from you.
Yes, good evening, Blaine, your guests and the audience at home. On the disadvantages, I'm coming from one of the oldest forms of stokvels, the burial societies. So one of the disadvantages is the intergenerational consensus. Us having to deal with the very senior citizens, it's a challenge, but we're overcoming that. And on the advantages, banks are now leaning towards acknowledging and really assisting stokvels in such a way that now many banks are offering funeral benefits of 10,000 rand, where members of the stokvel who are saving monthly can add an additional amount. Let's say it's a grocery stokvel, we are paying 100 rands every month, then we can add maybe 25 rands for getting a funeral benefit of 10,000 rands from most of the big banks that are here now. So it is really an industry that is taking off, that is good, especially if the members of the stokvels do their research. There are benefits now that the banks are offering. Then in terms of distributing money, yes, you can do EFT transfers because now we are in the burials stokvel sector. So we are doing large transactions. So to move with cash in that amount, it's very dangerous. So it is better for us to utilize the technology that is available there.
Busi, Lindokuhle was mentioning in terms of the generational. Are you finding more and more young people are getting involved in stokvels?
Definitely. Actually, I joined my first stokvel when I was 20, in my 20s.
Well,
so
that
it's
was,
not
what,
anything.
5 years ago?
It's not. No, definitely. You know, this thing about stokvels are getting younger, I think it's a myth that we need to dispel. Stokvels were started by young people. So it's just a continuity of, young people now getting involved, but there's nothing new about that, because we've been part of stokvels for decades, our grandmothers and all that stuff. Yeah. So yes, definitely, it's good to know that the younger generation today, they are embracing what was started by their forebearers.
Right. Yeah. John, in terms of some of the risks, and we've mentioned now that more and more are going EFT route, no longer keeping large chunks of cash. But what are some of the ways that you've been picking up in terms of trends that are being used to dupe people?
So I think one of the emerging trends now is stokvels compromising sensitive information about their meetings, venues, and who's the treasury and when they are going to be dispersing funds. And remember, these are people who live in families and, even amongst family members. There are people who may have access to this intelligence. And if they tip the wrong people, you may find that you get intercepted. I mean, that's one particular risk that one needs to be aware of. But also, I think it's important to have a very solid constitution, which is specific in terms of how do you deal with whatever situation that may arise,
right,
including and not limited to the conduct of people who are entrusted with the responsibility to sign with the bank on behalf of the stokvel. Because
right,
now, if somebody comes to you, for example, who is a treasurer and say, I went to withdraw 50,000 for us to disburse. On my way, I got off the taxi and there were guys waiting for me and the money is gone. What are you going to do?
Right.
Are you going to go to the police and say it's fraud? But the guy is also saying he was robbed. So there's quite a number of risks that you need to look at. And I think I agree with one of our digital speakers there that we certainly need to go digital route with transferring money. We don't need physical cash. But lastly, I think there's also the point of intergenerational membership.
Yes.
Where the elderly prefer to see cash. They want to see cash. They believe in this thing that cash is king. They want to see it. But young people understand that in EFT, if money is transferred and the balance is in your bank account, you've received the money.
Yeah.
So those are things, and we need to put a lot of education around that.
Busisi?
Yeah, just a follow-up that I think it would be highly irresponsible to say stokvels must be left alone. If they are happy with putting money under the mattress, leave them alone. I mean, surely, that's just being irresponsible. I think all of us, we are products of learning. So stokvels are not excluded from actually embracing new ways of doing things better, e.g. digitally instead of handling cash.
Yeah.
So I'm a strong believer in the development of stokvels. I'm a strong believer in that stokvels need to advance, do things much better without losing the essence of stokvels.
Kurula, you agree?
Yes, I agree together. Thank you.
Lindo, like-minded people, how do you, from your experience in stokvels, how do you choose members?
Oh wow. So our stokvel was started by my family, my great-grandfathers in 1969. You choose members through your networks. So you work within your networks. That's the best way of choosing members and growing the stokvel. Then on the other ways of how stokvels are growing and us not imposing on them. I think what banks are also doing now, they are implementing some sort of like behavioral banking, where it is more expensive to bank cash, even in with stokvels. So now when you deposit funds, cash, they charge you more. But when you deposit funds using EFT, they charge you less. So we could see it's not an interference, it's more of like behavioral banking. That, as Tumelo is saying, that with more research, we can find ourselves saving more money than our money going through transactional costs. So yeah, that's how you grow stokvels, and also the research that we should all be embarking on.
All right, Lindo, thank you very much indeed. 10 seconds each, final thoughts. Busisi?
Yes, stokvels are a great model, not for short-term savings. They should now start being used for generational wealth creation.
John?
When you're doing stokvel, take a long-term view. That's all I can say.
All right. Thank you so much to our guests, our digital audience as well. Value added, and a Merry Christmas to you all and to your families as well. All right. Before we go, here's my take. And at a time of uncertainty, how do we act? How do we cope? We look for avenues of opportunity that, I guess, keeps us afloat, right? There seems to be some green shoots. Economies around the world trying to fight against inflation, interest rate cuts. So some relief for us as consumers. Still, many people are going through hard times. But as they say, hard times make strong people, and it takes strong people to make good times. So let's remain positive in our collective hope for a better future. And that's my take. Have a wonderful Christmas, my brothers and sisters. I'll chat to you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.